So, so in the States, in the United States in the 60s, we had the end 50s and 60s, early 70s, we had a thing called the Civil Rights Movement. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Stokely Carmichael, now Kwame Ture, and others, Black Panther Party, Weathermen, et cetera, et cetera. When you look at the historical change, we can fight. We fight, we riot, we protest. But when it comes to the courts, the laws, the mood of society, religion, white people, white Americans have been at the forefront, have been the leaders of black freedom. Now, black people don't want to say that. I don't know why, but it's the truth.
There are many non-black Americans who will never read this document. They will never read this contract. Do you know how hard it is to face something that you know you've got to face? Especially if you think of it, put yourself in the shoes of a standard non-black American in this country. They didn't own any slaves. They didn't contribute to this history that has caused black Americans to be behind other races, that's compounded and still compounding. That's not the only issue in black America. We have to take responsibility for not prioritizing what we need to prioritize. But that also doesn't mean that there aren't systemic things going all the way back to the past that are still haunting us now. And how hard do you think it would be to have to face that? Especially if you didn't even do it. You have to face something that maybe it wasn't even your ancestors. Maybe you came here from another country and you don't even know what you're getting into. Imagine how hard that is. They're not even going to read this. This is gold right here. You have gold that applies to all Americans wrapped into a package that is labeled as a contract with black Americans. You label something a contract with black Americans. Non-black Americans don't care. If you're a non-black American and you see something labeled as such, they're not going to want to get in it. Now, I think people might think because there's a lot of movement with walking down the street with signs is how I describe it. Which I appreciate. If you are of any background and you're walking down the street and you have that in your heart that you think everyone should be created equal, there's nothing to do but to love that. But that's one level, and supporting a contract with black America is another level. That's like going from JV middle school basketball to the NBA. This contract with black America, you would have to be at the NBA level of supporting black Americans to support this contract. And walking down the street with the sign is high school JV. So there's a big gap there. And because you wrap it in the package of black Americans, it's a contract with black Americans, that naturally shuts out everyone else. We want them to read it. I know you do, Cube, and everybody else, but they're not going to read it. We just have to be real about that. If you wrap it up in that package, you've got gold here that could be like, we are for all Americans. And it could be a black. They see you, Cube. They know you're black. You can rally and say, this isn't just about blacks. This is about Americans. No American should have to have unnecessary contact with a police during a traffic ticket. That's not a black issue. Stop making things that aren't black issues into black issues. That hurts the cause. I'm going to go under the entertainment industry reform. No one knows about that better than Cube. And mandatory funding of black studios. Broadcast networks must have 20% black content. That is a contract with Black America that helps all of America, but that is a Black American issue. That's a Black Lives Matter issue. Minimum 13.4% black cast and crew. There's some stipulations on that, but it doesn't, as far as the cameramen and people working behind the scenes, it would still apply. That 13.4% of them need to represent the country that is 13.4% black. That is a contract with Black America. The massive bank lending and finance reform section. Change the credit scoring model. Are you asking to change the credit scoring model for only Black Americans? No, that would be silly. It's not a black issue. Why is that hard to understand? I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going off on a rant here. But I don't understand why that is so difficult to understand. I know the heart of it is it's something that we know disproportionately affects Black Americans. But it doesn't need to be wrapped in a black package. It's wrapped in a, this is better for everyone. Well, thanks a lot for listening. That sums it up for me, breaking it up into those two categories. Something to think about. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. I'm sure we can find some middle ground. Take care, everybody.